How important is John Jones and Diego Sanchez getting ready to fight on the same card been for your preparation?
It's been a great vibe in the gym. I take a lot of motivation from John. He motivates me a lot. He's one of those that has the same coaches as I do for the most part. He has mine's probably a little smaller. But his main striking coach is Michael and Coach John. His main, kind of all around with Greg Jackson, same. Wrestling coach is he, and our jiu-jitsu instructors. He works with Suicide, also works with but to be able to kind of watch how he takes everything they teach and be able to make it perform for him has been something that I try to learn from. And so that's just something that I like to do. I like to look at how he puts things together. He's a different fighter than me, so I'm not trying to be him. I'm just trying to kind of just learn from him and how he gets in there and how he always performs, John's one of those fighters that it's like, when you talk about an unbeatable fighter, everybody's beatable no matter what. We're all humans. But something about John is he like, the way I like to put it is he doesn't know how to lose. Okay, so he's beatable, but he doesn't know how to lose because he's going to go in there and it doesn't matter if it's going to be the toughest fight. The fighter that's going to come in and give him the scrap, the fighter that's going to come in and try and be, kind of technical. It doesn't matter. John will find a way to win. He doesn't know any other way.
Is he the type of fighter that will pull you aside with advice, or is he more of
He does.
show through what he does?
He will definitely try and give advice and like, hey, I think this would work for you. This would be great for you. You should try this. He definitely does that, and I really appreciate that about him. He's been actually very instrumental in this training camp. At our gym, the heavyweights class trains before the lightweights class, meaning everybody above 170 is here and everybody below that is here. So he's done sparring by the time I start, and so this camp, anytime he's been there, he stays and is helping coach with my coaches, watching around, while he's done from his training. So I appreciate his time, and he's competing with the knowledge of our coaches, and so for sometimes me to hear what he thinks, I very much appreciate, and I put a lot of value on that.
It's obviously been a while since we last saw you fight. Was that a blessing in disguise to get back down to 135 and go through, this is John's third fight, like you said, third fight since your last fight. Has it been a blessing in disguise this time between fights?
I think it's just one of those things that no matter what, I'm training, I'm wanting to get better, I'm learning, I'm going forward, I'm grinding, and when a fight comes, it comes. John's had 3 fights since my last fight, and before that it was, a year. And so, and the year before that, I think I had 3 fights to his 1 fight. And so, anything can be what happens in there. All I know is that I haven't taken a year off. I've been working for the whole year, so I don't feel like, oh my gosh, it's been a year since I've been in there. This is going to be so hard. I know that I've learned a lot, and I'm a different fighter than I was even a year ago.
Against Amanda, she's obviously looks pretty unbeatable in these past few years. Do you see any holes in her game that you think you can take advantage of?
Every single fighter has holes. Every single person can be beat. And so, yes, there's holes. She has less holes than most people because that's how she's been able to get to where she's at. But every fighter has holes, and so we're just here to expose those.
And a fighter that I don't know if he's part of the gym or much anymore, but Donald Cerrone had a pretty unfortunate situation that happened again at UFC 238. Watching that as someone that has trained with this person for so long, what do you think was going through his mind as someone that knows him probably better than almost anyone in the UFC?
I feel like everybody's different. I think that anybody, some people are going to go through a difficult situation and come back from it, and some aren't. And I don't think that he's necessarily one that gets, beat down too much. He's always been there. There's a reason why he has he has a lot of accolades and a lot of things that he's accomplished in his career. So you don't get that without having the ability to be confident and bounce back from things. So I don't really know exactly what he was thinking, but I think that every fighter has to believe in themselves to keep moving forward, or else you just can't. But I think he's proven that. So.
Obviously, you're focused on July 6th, but has anyone in the UFC come up to you for what's next? I mean, she does have 2 titles and 2 weight classes that you've competed in, and after your win against Megan Anderson, your exact quote was, "I want it all." Has anyone come up to you and be like, "Well, if you beat her, you could fight her again for another belt"?
I'm not looking past her, so I haven't thought of anything past this fight. I'm just thinking about July 6th, and whatever happens from there. And here's a perfect example of why you don't put all your eggs in one basket. I thought I was fighting Aspen Ladd, now I'm fighting Amanda Nunes. So, after this fight, who knows what's going to happen. But all I know is that in order to have good opportunities and want to be able to move forward, I need to do the best that I can with this situation at hand, and that is winning July 6th.
Was that fight official between you and Aspen, or what? Because it felt like a rumor, and then you guys weren't at the press conference. And was it real? Was it not real?
It was 100% real. I was training the whole time. I would never just wait till 2 weeks before the fight and be like, well, I don't know if I'm going to take this fight or not. There was a lot of things going on, a lot of contractual stuff and things like that. But I was there was nothing that was going to stop from that. There was a thing of wanting to. I only had 1 fight left on my contract, and the UFC wanted to renegotiate my contract with the UFC. And as I was saying, well, I can always just finish out, regardless if we can't come to terms. I'll just finish out this fight on my current contract. So there was kind of stuff like that. But I actually was in the middle of training. In the press conference, I wasn't on the main,
Main
main, yeah.
The dais.
Yeah. So
up there in the
yeah. So it was one of when they didn't have me go to the press conference, it was well, Diego wasn't there either because I was actually training, and then I got a text from Izzy, our wrestling coach, and was like, Dana just pulled your fight from the card, and I was like, and I was actually in the middle of training by the time I checked my phone. It was 30 minutes, an hour after.
Did he find out during the press conference? Did he know beforehand?
No, none of us knew. He didn't know. He just said, Dana just said your fight's cool. What happened? And I was like, that's news to me as well. And it was already all over Twitter and everything by the time I even left the gym. So, like I said, he texted me, but I was in the middle of training. I didn't even get it till later. So, but that's just, things happen in this sport. And that's why I'm only thinking of July 6th, because you never know what's going to be next.
And how long between that fight being pulled off the card and getting offered Amanda Nunes? How much time went there?
I kind of kept training the whole time. There was a couple of days I kind of just let myself mentally let go of it. And I thought, if I do wind up having this fight with Amanda, I don't want to be I need to kind of mentally let go of training for a little bit so that I can just kind of start mentally a little bit fresh. I don't mind being, in training and physically doing things, but mentally for me is the hardest thing to always be up like that. And so I wanted to give myself a little bit of a break, and then I was right back at it.